Importance of frameworks. Utilizing a project management framework is crucial for organizations as it standardizes project management practices, leading to improved communication among stakeholders and a higher overall success rate for projects. Frameworks facilitate better resource allocation and risk management, resulting in more predictable project outcomes. By following a structured approach, organizations can enhance their ability to deliver projects that meet their objectives and stakeholder expectations. The use of a project management framework also promotes consistency across projects, allowing organizations to build a repository of best practices and lessons learned. This knowledge can be leveraged in future projects, leading to continuous improvement in project management processes. Tools and techniques. Various tools and techniques are employed throughout the project management process to facilitate planning, execution, and monitoring. Work breakdown structures is a project management tool used to break down a project into smaller, more manageable components. DBEPS presents the project in a hierarchical format, where each level shows more specific details of the work that needs to be done. By using WBs, project managers can more easily visualize the project scope and effectively organize tasks. 1 application of WBS. Identify deliverables. The first step in applying WBS is to identify all the deliverables or expected outcomes of the project. This includes products, services, or results that need to be achieved. Decompose tasks. Once the deliverables are identified, the project is broken down into smaller tasks. Each task should be small enough to be manageable and measurable. This process is often done incrementally, starting from the main deliverables down to more specific subtasks. Organize tasks. The decomposed tasks are then organized into a hierarchical structure. This helps in understanding the relationships between various tasks and how they contribute to the main deliverables. Determine task sequence. In WBs, it is important to establish the order of task execution. This aids in planning the project schedule and identifying dependencies between tasks. Resource management. WEs also serves as a basis for allocating the resources, such as labor, equipment, and materials, needed to complete each task. This allows project managers to manage the budget and resources more efficiently. Monitoring and control. During the project execution phase, WBS is used to monitor progress and performance. By comparing actual progress against the plan set out in the WBs, project managers can identify issues early and take corrective actions if necessary. Thus, WBS is a crucial tool in project management that helps ensure that all aspects of the project are considered and managed well, thereby increasing the overall chances of project success. Gantt charts. Gantt charts are visual representations of a project schedule that display the duration of tasks and their dependencies over time. They provide a clear and concise way to illustrate the timeline of a project, making it easier for project managers and stakeholders to understand the sequence of activities and how they relate to one another. Application of Gantt charts. Task identification. The first step in creating a Gantt chart is to identify all the tasks that need to be completed for the project. This includes breaking down the project into smaller, manageable tasks, often derived from the work breakdown structure, WBs. Establishing task durations. For each identified task, the estimated duration must be determined. This involves assessing how long each task will take to complete based on available resources and historical data. Defining task dependencies. It is essential to identify the relationships between tasks, specifically which tasks must be completed before others can begin. This helps in understanding the flow of the project and in scheduling tasks appropriately. Creating the Gantt chart. Once tasks, durations, and dependencies are established, the Gantt chart can be created. Each task is represented as a horizontal bar, with the length of the bar corresponding to the duration of the task. The tasks are arranged along a timeline, typically displayed on the horizontal axis, while the tasks are listed on the vertical axis, tracking progress. As the project progresses, the Gantt chart can be updated to reflect the current status of each task. This allows project managers to easily track progress, see which tasks are on schedule, and identify any delays. Identifying scheduling conflicts. Gantt charts help in visualizing overlapping tasks and potential scheduling conflicts. By examining the chart, project managers can quickly identify areas where resources may be over-allocated or where tasks may be competing for the same resources. Communication tool. Gantt charts serve as an effective communication tool for stakeholders. They provide a visual summary of the project timeline, making it easier to convey progress and any changes in the schedule to team members and stakeholders. Risk registers. A risk register is a project management tool that documents identified risks, their sources, and the planned responses to those risks. It serves as a central repository for all risk-related information throughout the project lifecycle, enabling project managers to monitor and manage risks effectively. Application of risk registers. Risk identification. The first step in creating a risk register is to identify potential risks that could impact the project. This involves brainstorming sessions, expert interviews, and reviewing historical data from similar projects to uncover risks related to scope, schedule, cost, quality, and other project aspects. Risk analysis. Once risks are identified, they are analyzed to determine their potential impact and likelihood of occurrence. This analysis helps prioritize risks based on their severity, allowing project managers to focus on the most critical risks that could affect project success. Documenting risks. Each identified risk is documented in the risk register, including details such as risk description, a clear and concise statement of the risk. Source of risk. The origin or cause of the risk, which could be internal or external. Impact. The potential effect of the risk on project objectives. Likelihood. The probability of the risk occurring. Planned response. The strategy for addressing the risk, which may include mitigation, avoidance, transfer, or acceptance. Monitoring risks. The risk register is regularly updated throughout the project to reflect any changes in risk status. Project managers use it to track the effectiveness of risk responses and to identify new risks as the project progresses. Implementing mitigation strategies. For each risk, the planned response is executed as needed. This may involve implementing specific actions to reduce the likelihood or impact of the risk, such as allocating additional resources, adjusting project schedules, or developing contingency plans. Communication and reporting. The risk register serves as a communication tool for stakeholders, providing them with visibility into the risks facing the project and the strategies in place to manage them. Regular updates on the status of risks can be shared during project meetings or in status reports. Lessons learned. After project completion, the risk register can be reviewed to capture lessons learned regarding risk management. This information can be valuable for future projects, helping to improve risk identification and response strategies. Budgeting methods. Techniques for estimating and controlling project costs. These methods help project managers develop realistic budgets and track expenses throughout the project lifecycle. Budgeting methods refer to various techniques used to estimate and control project costs. These methods are essential for project managers to develop realistic budgets, allocate resources effectively, and track expenses throughout the project lifecycle. Proper budgeting ensures that projects are completed within financial constraints and helps in making informed decisions regarding resource allocation. Application of budgeting methods. Cost estimation. The first step in budgeting is to estimate the costs associated with all project activities. This can be done using several techniques, including analogous estimating, using historical data from similar projects to estimate costs. This method is quick but may not be as accurate. Parametric estimating. using statistical relationships between historical data and other variables, cost per square foot, to calculate estimates. Bottom-up estimating, breaking down the project into smaller components and estimating the costs for each component, then aggregating these estimates to form the total project budget. Developing the budget. Once cost estimates are gathered, the next step is to compile them into a comprehensive project budget. This budget should include direct costs, costs that can be directly attributed to the project, such as labor, materials, and equipment. Indirect costs, overhead costs that are not directly tied to a specific project activity, such as administrative expenses. Contingency reserves, funds set aside to address unforeseen costs or risks that may arise during the project. Budget approval. The proposed budget is typically reviewed and approved by stakeholders or project sponsors. This step ensures that all parties agree on the financial resources allocated to the project. Tracking expenses. Throughout the project lifecycle, project managers must monitor actual expenses against the budget. This involves regular reporting, generating financial reports that compare actual spending to the budgeted amounts. This helps identify variances and allows for timely corrective action. Variance analysis, analyzing discrepancies between planned and actual costs to understand the reasons for any deviations. This can help in adjusting future estimates and budgets. Controlling costs. If actual costs exceed the budget, project managers must implement cost control measures. This may include revising the budget, adjusting the budget to reflect changes in project scope or unforeseen expenses, while ensuring stakeholder approval. Implementing cost-saving measures, identifying areas where costs can be reduced without compromising project quality or deliverables. Finalizing the budget. At the end of the project, a final budget report is prepared, summarizing the total costs incurred. This report is essential for evaluating project performance and for future budgeting efforts. Lessons learned. After project completion, reviewing the budgeting process and outcomes can provide valuable insights. Documenting lessons learned helps improve budgeting practices for future projects.
Yes, see you on
Feel
the
okay?
top.
Feeling good?
Okay, see you on the top.
Yes.